This is a public service announcement. If you are a business owner or work in any type of establishment, you want to hear this. So I was just in an IHOP and I had my service dog with me. I got asked, is that an emotional support animal? I was like, no, she's a service dog. Emotional support animals don't have public access rights. Now this is as we were leaving, so this wasn't like an access issue. They were just genuinely asking. They go, oh, we didn't know that. That's good to know. Then they proceed to tell me that they had somebody come in with an emotional support parrot on their shoulder. And then he tells me that somebody came in with a dog. I guess they were claiming it as a service animal and was sitting on the chair and she was feeding it, and then it kept trying to lunge at him to bite him. In an establishment, if an animal comes in and you are not sure if it is a service animal, you are allowed to ask 2 questions legally per federal law. First question, is that a service animal required for a disability? Make sure to specify for a disability because that's going to weed out a lot of your fakes. The second question you're allowed to ask is what task is it trained to perform? You cannot inquire about the person's disability, but you can ask what the dog has been trained to do. If anybody gives you an answer that's relevant to emotional support, that's not a service animal and you do not have to allow them in. You're going to get answers like seizure response, medical alert, psychiatric response, PTSD response, anxiety response, blood sugar alert. The list goes on and on and on. Mobility assistance. If it's a cat, a parrot, a goldfish, that's not a service animal. Because federal ADA law, which is Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, and this is the laws that regard disabled people and service animals and our rights. And miniature ponies, but you're very rarely going to see that, and miniature ponies are typically used as guide companions for the blind or as mobility assistant animals for people who require extremely heavy mobility. So for the sake of this video, let's just keep it at dogs only. If it's any other animal, that's your immediate cue. Your other thing is go watch all of my videos here with my service dog. If the dog is not behaving like she behaves, it's not a service animal. You can always tell on the dog's behavior. They're not going to be pulling. They're not going to be lunging at you. They're not going to be sitting in the seat. They are going to be tucked down under the table at the feet in a downstay. Now, I say no pulling, but if it's an animal that is performing a task and doing guide or mobility, obviously the animal is going to be pulling, but they're not going to be like dragging the owner and pulling 5 feet ahead. You can see dogs that jump to alert. My service dog does do jumping to alert, so not talking about that. We're talking obsessive jumping and pulling and dragging and barking and all the things that would just not be okay. And if it's disruptive, you can legally kick them out. Hope this helps.